Let's talk about distance control. And since DynAlign allows us to use our dominant hand for force regulation because our stroke is stable, here's a way you can use visual imagery to help determine your distance control. We've got about a 15-foot putt here, and if we're playing catch with somebody with a ball, if we throw the ball to them, we got the ball in our hand and we can see them, and throw it to them. If we use that for putting, use the hole as a target, we throw it to the hole, it's going to go too far by. So we're going to have to pick a target in front of the hole, and it helps to pick a wide wall target for our distance target. You know, rather than looking right down the line to determine your distance, because that can be difficult for your mind to pick a spot for that to stop. But if we have this wide wall visual in our mind, then it gives our senses a lot better idea of how hard we want to hit this ball to make it go in the hole. So for a flat putt, when you first get to the course, pick out a flat putt and then just imagine a target, a wide wall in front of that target for your distance control. So we'll just forget about the hole, and we're not really lining this up, we're just thinking about distance control. So that way I felt like I was rolling it up to this wide wall that's in front of the hole, and then the ball rolls out to the hole. Now we're going to be able to use this technique for uphill putts and downhill putts, and we're just going to consider those are flat putts. For the uphill putt, we're going to imagine that wall is equal to the hole, and depending on the slope it may be a little bit behind, and then on downhill putts we're going to imagine that wide wall closer to us. But to start out with, we just want to pick a level putt and just get a feel for what our senses are telling us on how hard to roll that ball. So now we'll look at uphill putts and downhill putts. Now for the uphill putt, we're going to imagine our wide wall is even with the hole, and we'll feel like we're rolling the ball up to that wide wall target and just tell ourselves this is a flat putt. Once I get lined up, get my fine alignment, then I'll just feel like I'm rolling that ball up to that wide wall target for my distance control. And the slope will vary. This is a mild slope here, but if the slope is a little more, a little steeper, then you'll just imagine that target behind, a little bit behind the hole, and you can judge that for yourself. But starting out, when you're judging your first 15-foot flat putt, you can use that percentage in front or behind the hole for all your putts. Just tell yourself it's a flat putt. Now we've got the downhill putt, so we're going to imagine our distance target is a little bit closer than it was on the flat putt. So once we get lined up, then we'll just focus our attention on that wide wall target instead of the hole, and the ball will roll out correct distance. So that way you can treat every putt as a flat putt. As they say, they treat every putt as a straight putt, so it simplifies things. And once you calibrate your feel for distance on that first 15-foot flat putt of the day, then you can make your judgments on how far behind the hole, or even with the hole, or in front of the hole, depending on the uphill or downhill and the speed of the green.